Hey, this is Sensibility Speaks. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, y'all, it is about that time. Let's sip some sensibility, shall we? Hey, sensibilities, it's popping. What's good, y'all? We are going to do a quick little recap and review of Heard It Through the Grapevine, Season 10, Episode 2 of Married to Medicine, child. Honey, let me tell you, I was gagged when that damn Dr. Heavenly was doing that downward dog yoga pose or whatever the hell she was doing, and that damn wig came off. See, God don't like ugly Heavenly. You always effing with somebody. See, karma's a biatch, child. Let's continue. And baby, like I said in my last review, that Miss Quad and that good old Miss Phaedra Parks, honey, that is the dynamic duo we didn't know we needed, child. Whatever the hell they said, child. When I tell you both of them are snatch, honey, Quad, you better, girl, you know you better. Child. Sweet Tea, you're a sweetheart, girl, but you better take notes. I'm just saying. So Quad is visiting her good girlfriend, Phaedra, honey. She goes on to let us know that they go back and she met through Dr. G, okay? You know how some people, if you were to run into at a happy hour or a bar or something like that, child, I know they would be a key. So the two divas are catching up, and Phaedra goes on to ask her, what's going on with you? And I noticed you've been going to South Africa right much, child. And she's like, I have. And I see that you're dating. Honey, when I tell you, when they showed that hunk of man, that 6'4", 5" man that Miss Quad is dating, I'm like, yes, baby, that is an upgrade. Now, that's an upgrade. Cecil, talking about Sweet Tea's upgrade. No offense. That's an upgrade. Child, she says she owned the bigger and better things, and I believe her in more ways than one. But I was laughing when a producer asked, well, what's his name? She was like, gentleman friend, talking about Quad. I guess she said, you have to ain't gonna know his name. I know that's right. So anyway, Quad says she's parched, she wants some water. Child, why did Phaedra set Benji? I'm like, when you get a butler, child, they objectifying him, talking about something. He's a fine piece of specimen and he's good looking, but too young. I was like, child, anyway, they do anything for a prop, right? So Quad goes on to ask, what's up with the girls? And Phaedra's like, well, why haven't you been talking to or dealing with the girls? They did a flashback of the reunion when Toya was like, I ain't never accused you of sleeping with no married men until today. Child, her and that Toya, just as sure as the sun rises and sets each day, them chicks gonna be at each other. But anywho, so as they're catching up, of course, Phaedra said, you already know that Greg got engaged. Quad's like, well, how did they meet anyway, child? Girl, they so shady. She slid in his DMs. She's telling Quad, when I tell you they gonna wear that damn line out, she was like, girl, she slid in his DMs and she said, I can give you what you want. But anyway, she go on to say that she's 23 years younger. She was like, well, Dr. G is older than me, blah, blah, blah. She was like, but no, honey, Miss Sweet Tea is 23 years younger than Dr. G, okay? And Quad's like, that's different. Yeah, that's a little different. Quad must say, y'all thought I was a gold digger. I see you, chick. But I love the fact that Quad ain't even tripping. Child, she ain't bound into it. Phaedra goes on to let her know, look, her and Toya's pretty close. And Quad says, of course she is. But it's funny, I love me some Miss Quad, but she acts like she don't understand why Toya at her. All that shit you did to Toya, come on now. Like, I can't understand why Toya hates me. Then they go on to do the flashback with her telling Anila how she's sleeping around with married men or sleeping around or with different men or whatever like that, and setting folk up to be robbed. Child, you know why she hates you. She hates you just as much as you hate her because y'all be at each other's throat. But I think you go below the belt with her a little bit, Miss Quad, I don't know what it is, child, but y'all both found a snatch, so maybe that's it. But she goes on to say that, you know what, dealing with hers is off the table with me, and I get it. And then Miss Quad goes on to say, you know what, for Toya to pump out the fact to the group, spreading rumors, well, I guess it's a fact that she got a DUI. And she goes on to clear up, yeah, I got a DUI. I was cited, but I was cleared. I want to know, how does Toya know she got a DUI? Is she doing like case searches and shit like that? Who has time for that, child? Or perhaps did the producer tell her? I mean, how would you even know? I guess that's public record, but who in the hell looking that up? So anyway, they go on to talk about Heavenly. She can understand Toya, coming at her throat. And Quad goes on to say none of the girls like her. But she was shocked at Heavenly in particular because Heavenly going to show her a screenshot or a tweet of whatever the hell it was of her hanging out with Sweet Tea. Oh, I just want you to know that I'm hanging out with my new friend. I'm like, chick, but friends like that, who in the hell needs an enemy? I tell you one thing, when it comes up to stirring up damn drama, that Dr. Heavenly, child, she's keeping the show going and running with the drama because, as she said on Carlos's King show, her and Jackie pushing for Sweet Tea to be on the show. I mean, that's going to make ratings go through the roof. I hate to say it, but at the expense of a friendship, I guess they aren't as sisterly as Quad thought they were, but let Heavenly tell it they this and that. But anywho, the general consensus is Quad feels like the Heavenly deserted her. Heavenly feels the same, and I guess the group at large. But Phaedra goes on to say that the phone works both ways. They haven't reached out to each other. But Quad and Dr. G have been divorced for a minute, so I'm just like, what is the issue? But see, I like Dr. Heavenly, but I do think she's two-faced, and I do think she's insecure on a level, and I think she's jealous of the girls who are pretty and snatched. I'm just saying. Anywho. But you know, Quad goes on to say, what is it that y'all don't want me around anymore? But just like Carlos and Heavenly, when they said during their recap, ain't nobody checking for Sweet Tea like that. The only way that that magic can happen is if they go at each other on a show or them having some type of underlying issues because both of them being married to Dr. G at different times. Yeah, of course, it's just ratings gold. So I don't think necessarily they are going to ice out Quad from the show, but I think in order for it to really work long term, and I know Quad is unfazed, but she's going to have to show her man whenever she gets serious with that fine dude or whomever, bringing him on the show. So that would be an interesting dynamic. But anywho, I don't think they're trying to ice her out, child, because the ratings are too good. So anywho, moving right along. So now we're transitioning over to Gregory and Sweet Tea's house, Quad's former home. Oh, let me stop. They meet each other at the door. I guess he's getting off from work. They are so in love, or at least they appear to be. They give one another an infectious kiss. I was like, oh, the honeymoon stage is so sweet. But anywho, he's like, what you cooking? Oh, his voice is so cringe. He's a nice looking man or whatever, a little short for my taste. Well, honey, I can't do that voice. What you cooking? So she goes on to say she's cooking gumbo. It looks good. Okay, so girlfriend be cooking and whatnot. And she's like, well, what's your favorite dish? I like the greens. He was like, you cook like a 65-year-old woman from 1965. Ooh, child, that voice. Ugh. So anyway, Sweet Tea goes on to give a long soliloquy that she works from home, that she's a program coordinator for the federal government. She works remote, which gives you good work-life balance because you can do some things in between working, okay, and still give 1,000% to your work or what have you. And so anyway, she's fixing his plate. She got the wine glasses. She's so proud.
I serve my man on real plates.
Honey, she said, I serve my man on real plates. I'm like, honey, who is that to? Child, stop being a pick-me girl. And she was like, I'm so happy. He loves me and blah, blah, blah. He's good to me, blah, blah, blah. She gives this long soliloquy, which is a good thing, okay, I guess. But then she's going to contradict that a little bit later. Not the part about him loving her, but how he's there for her and all of this. But then in the confessional, she's like, go for what you want. You just might get it. Child, oh, she's thirsty. I'm sorry. I can't. But hey, to each his own. For those of you who approach men, have at it. But child, I wish I would. Anywho, so they go on to have dinner. They talk about the wedding. So she gives him an update. And she talks about how tired she is because she's overwhelmed. In all seriousness, she's overwhelmed. She's doing it all the planning. And he goes on to say, well, I'm doing everything. So I do think it's insulting him bringing up the fact, I don't want to say bragging, but throwing in her face that he's doing it all, meaning he's financing it. And she's like, well, I'm contributing toward the wedding too. He was like, but how much? I'm doing 90% of it. So basically, I'm shelling out the money. You do the planning. I don't want to have anything to do with the heavy lifting of it. And she's like, I'm overwhelmed. And you can see in the confessional, you can see the look on her face. And I think she's proud of the fact that she's contributing. Here's the thing, honey. I see red flags because I think he did Quad the exact same way. He's old-fashioned. He's looking for a Stepford wife who's catering to him. Hey, that's fine. You cater to your man. He caters to you, however you are in your relationship. But I don't want to say it's one-sided, but he's very traditional. I wonder as she grows in her career, because she seems like a go-getter and she seems like she's ambitious. I wonder if he's going to try to thwart that later on. I'm just saying, I'm just going to put a pin in that for right now. But I can see them having issues down the line, especially as she's around this group of girls. And she has the alpha female personality, even though she may be from down south, Texas or wherever, and she has southern roots and maybe catering to your man. But no, he seemed like the type, he wants you to hero worship him, wait on him hand and foot. And Quad would never, and I don't blame her, not to that degree. Okay, this is the 21st century. But anywho, but what I want to know is, did you hire a wedding planner, someone to help you manage all of that? Because all of those details and all of the intricacies of planning a wedding can be stressful. He's like, it shouldn't be this stressful. It is. You ain't doing nothing but paying for it. And so she said, just take something off of my plate, anything, even if it's coordinating your groomsmen and what they're going to wear, stuff like that. Honey, I want you to turn into a bridezilla, child. I'm here for it. And I want to see it, because especially if he's not helping, but a lot of men aren't into that. So anywho, he said that he can help her with cake tasting, that he can help her with. So moving right along. So now we transition over to Dr. Jackie. They show her and her new partner, Dr. Buller, I believe her name is, and she's telling her that if she's not available, that she may have to deliver the Brad's baby. So it seems like Dr. Jackie is the OBGYN for all the celebrities, honey, and all the reality TV stars down to the ATL child. So anyway, they show a very pregnant Brad. She's looking so cute, her and Judy. Yeah, so she examines her, so they converse. She examines her. So Dr. Jackie says she has been seeing the Brad since she's conceived, and she did so via IVF, and she's 48, and so that is a high-risk pregnancy. They perform the ultrasound. The Brad doesn't want to know the gender at this point. Dr. Jackie just goes on to let her know that she has to be careful what she eats because she can get gestational diabetes, preeclampsia. And the Brad goes on to tell her, well, I did have a single with cheese from Wendy's, honey. I guess she said me and the baby were hungry. So anyway, that was a cute moment to see them. But Dr. Jackie says that she no longer sees patients after 2 p.m. So they flash over to her and Curtis because they had infidelity in their marriage because according to him, she worked too much, didn't have time for him. Child, he is so full of ish. But since Jackie rearranged her schedule, which is good work-life balance, she's pushing 60, I believe, at this point, and she's put in her work and she has partners now in her practice, so she can lay back a while. But what I want to know, Curtis, is now that Jackie got this new schedule, why your ass is down to the Dominican Republic without her, okay? Who did you go with? You too old to be taking some damn boys trip. Ain't no damn golf courses and things like that in the DR. Child, I don't know if they got golf courses there, but it's a little fishy to me. We got a good eye on you, Curtis. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's continue. Let's move right on along. So now the scene cuts over to Toya. So we're at her house, honey, at her new abode. And so she's on the phone with Sweet Tea. She's letting her know I'm having a wine tasting event. It's going to be chic, honey. So we're not doing casual and cowboy attire, Miss Sweet Tea. She's like, this is a chic event. So I'm so proud of Toya. This episode, she's kicking off her new wine business. And so yes, honey, Toya is the CEO of Toya's Wine Club. She is going to invite the girls. So Eugene warns her that they may be shady, that they may come with some sarcastic remarks, because they always trying to low-key down Toya, I guess, because she's a stay-at-home mom, she's a housewife, even though I think she does have other business endeavors, but because she's not a medical doctor, dentist, or what have you, or just career-driven in that sense, okay? But he warns her, and she's prepared for the ladies. But it seems like since the inception of the show, it seems like they always comfort Toya in that regard, hence the shady remark that Dr. Jackie calling her MRS, MD, okay? like to stay in her lane, so to speak. And low key, I think that was the issue that they had with Mariah, Dr. Jackie, and Simone in particular, because she is married to medicine, because she was married to a doctor, okay, as opposed to being a physician herself, which is kind of elitist, okay? So anyway, I always feel like Toya is trying to prove something to the ladies, and as if she doesn't get an income from being on the show. And I felt like she did the same thing with Dr. Contessa too, because they were always in her finances, blah, blah, blah. So Toya and Eugene go on to have the birds and the bees conversation with the boys. Child, they just as embarrassed and giggly. Honey, they talking about chlamydia and your little private area, telling them all the things that can happen if you don't wear a condom, etc. They just looking at them like, ugh, or whatever. And I guess this is the right age to have the conversation. You know, they still kind of young. What they about, 10 or 11, 12? I can't tell. Ooh, child, but we're getting old, because I can remember they were toddlers when the show first came out. Were they like 2, 3, or 4? All right, moving right along. So now the scene cuts over to Sweet Tea and her sugar baby girlfriend that she met in a sugar baby support group. We'll get to that. So anywho, Sweet Tea says that she wants to get a princess type dress. That's what she envisioned. She has less than a month before the actual wedding. Part of me wonders, did they rush this wedding because they're now on a show? Because I know somewhere we learned that they were dating 6 months, and then after 6 months they got engaged, and then they got married all within a year, child. So they kind of rushed it. But anywho, she says she wants a dress to where she's going to have that figure 8 look and going to look snatched and her boobies up to the sky, child. You're going to need a girdle for that, according to Miss Phaedra. But we will get to that. Let's continue. So Sweet Tea invites Toya. In comes Phaedra. Child, they are dressed to the nines. I said the girls are looking snatched and looking good, child. Honey, I remember Phaedra, her first season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Honey, girlfriend that came a long way. She is snatched, looking good. And I like that Gucci carry case she got. Yes, I do. As Phaedra comes in, she gives Toya a hug. Child, Toya spilling champagne. I know the lady at the dress shop like, Lord, y'all in here effing up. But yeah, the primary reason she invited them is because she considers Toya like a big sis, because Toya is taking her under her wing, and Toya does not like Quad, and that will get up under Quad's skin. And she invited the lovely Phaedra Parks because Phaedra and Dr. G have been friends for over 20 years. So she's trying to ingratiate herself into the circle. Okay. So Sweet Tea goes on to try on dresses. She comes out with one particular dress. It's cream. And someone said, well, honey, that's a good thing because you ain't a virgin. And I think her girlfriend in the background, like, you don't know that. Child, you know she ain't no virgin, child. She trying to snag that sugar daddy. Stop playing. And then she tried on this other dress. And she said, oh, I like this dress. And then she said, it matches my ring. Child, Toya's face snapped back. And she was like, your ring ain't clear. Meaning the clarity of her diamond. You're supposed to be able to see through them like ice. Anyway, she said, that ain't what I meant. Child. She's like, girl, my ring is rose gold. Stop playing. Oh, but baby, the third dress she tried on, Phaedra and Toya's like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. That dress looks very mature. And she's in her early 30s. Yeah, that dress does age her a little bit. And Phaedra's like, sounded like somebody, grandma, mama. She's like, turn around, turn around. She's like, ooh, you're butt challenged. I was like, you don't tell nobody who ain't got no hind parts that they got a flat tail, child. You can't tell people that. She said, you want to give buttermilk biscuit and not pancake. Ooh, you don't talk about nobody like that. And then here come Toya a little later on. She telling her, child, you need to get a girdle so your waist can look snatched. I was like, God dang, they going in. And then Sweet Tea goes on to say she's down in Atlanta. Ooh, child. And in the confessional, Sweet Tea was like, oh, no, y'all don't. She said, child, I am down here in Atlanta where everybody is nip, tucked, and suck, child. She's like, I ain't fresh off of nobody's table. Well, I will say some people are naturally born with hourglass figures. I'm just saying, child. Some of us don't have to go under the knife. I'm going to leave it at that. But anywho, child, they ain't had to comfort her like that. They ain't had to do it. But child, Sweet Tea says she's natural. She's a natural young mare. So that was a dig. She said, for you old ass hags, child. Oh, Lord. So eventually they started talking to Sweet Tea's girlfriend. She was like, well, how did y'all meet? She said, we actually met online. We are in a Facebook group. Essentially saying we're in a Facebook online group for women who date older men, i.e. sugar babies, okay? Trying to get a lick from any sucker they can, okay? And so in a nutshell, Phaedra's like, so y'all sugar babies. Her girlfriend says, no. She was like, then what are you? She was like, age gapped relationships, child. Child, Sweet Tea coming off from out the dressing room, can't even try her damn dress on. She's like, no, no. She's like, no, it's an age gap support group, child. Okay, if that's what you want to call it, boo, we're going to go with that. But Sweet Tea goes on to say the reason for the support group is because her younger friends or her other friends can't relate, okay? In other words, they're not dating dudes old enough to be their daddy, okay? Or granddaddy either, for that matter. But I'm wondering if the girlfriend is like the admin for the group. You know, you have the admins for Facebook groups and stuff like that. I wonder how they bonded, just kind of randomly met her. But anyway, just a thought. But in the confessional, child, they just as shady. Toya and Phaedra are shady as hell. Phaedra's like, so I wonder if you have questions like, what is a Blockbuster? What's a CD? What's a VCR? I'm like, ooh, child. And then Toya's like, yeah, what do you do if he has erectile dysfunction or it can't get up and stuck, child? In other words, but Phaedra's like, honey, I don't want to date older men because I don't want to be a nurse. I know that's right, child. They're going to learn one day. Honey, for the money, I guess you do what you got to do for the coin. Get it how you live, baby. But I do wonder why she didn't invite her twin sister to this, but I guess they needed this for a scene, child. But before we move along, but anywho, the ladies are so shady. So one day they say that you catch worms from old men, child. You know how your mama and grandma said, don't you be messing with no older man, child, give you worms. They talk about that his scrotum and his balls will drop, child. Anyway, let's move along. Move along. So Toya arrives to Stay Sexy Atlanta, honey, to her wine tasting. Honey, she is snatched for the gods. I love that dress. She got a little peekaboo going on in the derriere area, honey. Yes, ma'am. So they're overlooking the area before the ladies gather. She's talking to the sommelier, the wine tasting lady, and just waiting for her guests to arrive, honey. So the ladies start arriving. I'm like, look at Dr. Simone, honey, with her little shorts on, looking snatched. Here comes Miss Sweet Tea, kind of galloping along, child, in her zebra striped dress. Okay, honey. Girl, Toya so shady. When she saw Sweet Tea, she says, this what you did with Dr. G? Because she got the girls sitting out, honey. I know, child. You got to get it how you can. So the rest of the ladies arrived looking fabulous. Dr. Jackie said, I'm here to support Toya. She said, only thing she knows about wine is that it comes from grapes because she doesn't drink, honey. Phaedra is a mess. She said, whose butt is this? She said, I ain't know who that was, child. But Toya wearing that dress, honey. And Dr. Heavenly's old shady ass, she said, I don't know what she's trying to sell out here, but whatever she's selling is selling. Child, you could never wear that. Stop hating Heavenly. So Toya tries to get the event started. She lets the ladies know she's happy that they came and that they're here to celebrate her wine club and to imbibe and to do some wine tasting. She lets them know that she has over 200 wines in her collection, and they seem like, okay, okay. And then Toya's like, I'm kind of drifting off a bit. She presents well because if I'm not mistaken, either Toya was a school teacher in a past life, or I definitely know that she was a pharmaceutical rep. So she knows how to present, to do a presentation in front of a crowd or whatever, or these chicks or these ladies, right? And so anyway, Heavenly's smart ass is like, what you been drinking? And Toya's like, no. And then Sweet Tea chimes in. She was like, well, you was drinking yesterday during my dress fitting, child. Here we go. But anyway, Sweet Tea's like, you won't drifting off yesterday, you and Phaedra, when y'all was coming at me in my dress fitting yesterday, okay? Here we go. And Phaedra chimes in. She said, I thought it went great. And she said, y'all was mean, child. Then they did a flashback where Phaedra said, you're a butt challenge. And then Toya said, you need to look snatched. You need a girdle. Like, god damn. And so Phaedra and Toya, they both apologized. And Phaedra pretty much saying that a girdle is not being rude. It's just foundation wear, I guess, for dresses like that. She was like, no, Sweet Tea. She said, no, y'all being rude. And of course, Toya, she said, no, that wasn't my intent. And I don't think that was Toya's intent, okay? But that's not how it was received. Oh, Lord. So to twist the knife a little bit more, here comes Dr. Heavenly's ass saying, somebody said that she was in therapy for dating an older man. Child. And here goes Sweet Tea. She said, who said that? And Phaedra's like, I didn't say that. And Dr. Heavenly said, I didn't say you said that. But anyway, Sweet Tea goes on to say, no, it's an age gap relationship group. It's not for therapy. And Heavenly's smart ass like, well, what y'all be talking about? And Sweet Tea said, you want to join? I know that's right. Get her, get her, get her. And with the quick comeback, Heavenly's like, I don't think I qualify because my husband's only 6 months older than me. Ooh, child, I'm gagged. And then she said, well, then again, 6 months might work. But I'm laughing at Toya because she said Dr. Heavenly is acting like a wind-up Chucky doll coming at Sweet Tea, and she is hazing the hell out of her, okay? I do love the fact that all the ladies don't pounce at once. I know she's feeling like powed on in this moment, but it could be worse, especially if Toya, Simone, and, all the ladies were at her. So it's not as bad as it could be, Sweet Tea. Sweetie. Okay, Sweet Tea, sweetie? So pretty much in the confessional, Sweet Tea says, look, these ladies are way out of touch. They're damn near my grandmama's age. Ooh, the ageism and the shaming of it all. But hey, you're messing with an old man, child. His friends are his age, okay? I don't know. Maybe you should have came down 10 years as opposed to 23, maybe 13 years. Hell, maybe even 5 or 10 years, all right? Stay within a generation, honey, so y'all can have some shit in common besides good sex, right? No, but in all seriousness, she says that she's trying to be kind to the ladies because she is trying to ingratiate herself to them because Dr. G really wants her to fit into this friend group. But I don't know how that can be. Y'all ain't got shit in common. I'm just saying. But anyway, at the end of the day, she's like, I'm a millennial. That's what we do. We hop into DMs. No, I don't know if they all do, but anywho. But she's like, get with the program. In other words, this is social media. We have Facebook groups. Child, they got people on Facebook from 15 to 75, child. So that ain't it. Anywho, it's not the fact that you're in a social media group, Sweet Tea. It's the fact that you're in one for sugar babies and sugar daddies. So you can have some kinship and some camaraderie with some like-minded gold diggers. Now I'm talking shit. I'm all for hypergamy. I'm talking shit. So anyway, Dr. Simone goes on to ask, was there anything else that offended you, that you found offensive? And Sweet Tea says, well, yeah, at the hoedown party, you guys kept mentioning his ex-wife, Quad, that is. They did a flashback. I think Dr. Jackie says she hadn't been here since the house was purple or the wall was purple when Quad lived there. Child, you chose to get with a man who had a whole friend group, child, that's old enough to be your damn parents, Sweet Tea, okay? And they're friends with his ex-wife. They're more frenemies, but they're still in association with her. You wanted to jump in, you get in when you fit in. That's why it's good to marry somebody who ain't never been married before. They don't have all that damn baggage. I'm just saying. But Sweet Tea does go on to say that she just had a vision that her and Greg would be partners, so to speak, that he would be involved in the wedding planning. And Simone assures her, look, if you wanted that level of involvement, you probably should have married a woman. See, Sweet Tea, she's a millennial. She's extroverted and seems like kind of an alpha female. And I think she's looking for an equal partner. You ain't gonna get that with that man, okay? Because Dr. Heavenly done already spilled the beans during that Carlos King interview that Dr. G already said, you're morphing into Quad. You're starting to act like Quad, okay? And also, we're going to talk about Quad a little bit more when he meets up with Miss Phaedra. We're going to talk about that in a second, too. So meanwhile, while Dr. Simone is consoling Sweet Tea in the background in the bathroom, so back at the wine tasting, the ladies are on the couch and they're talking. And so Dr. Jackie was like, well, have you talked to Quad? Where is Quad? She's letting her know, yes, I spoke to her and all this. But anyway, somewhere in the conversation, Dr. Jackie says, look, if I ever get divorced, y'all not going to be his friend. And then the other new dentist, the friend of, the pretty chocolate one with long hair, she was just like, I know that's right. You chicks ain't going to be friends with the ex. And see, that's the sad thing in all seriousness when it comes to divorce, when you have a friend group, who gets the friends, right? It just depends. And sometimes you would think that ladies would automatically support the women, okay? And then the men would automatically support, I guess, the husband. It doesn't always go that way because sometimes it can go either way. And then I've seen it to where the women will snake out their girlfriend or whatever and then befriend the ex-husband, okay? And vice versa. Some people can be cutthroat, child. But let me circle back to Dr. Jackie. She said, if you divorce my husband, you cannot be his friend. Is that a foreshadowing of what's to come? Because again, the Bama was in the DR, and we want to know who you was in the DR with, Curtis. I know I said it once, and I'll say it again. Who was you with, Curtis? So anyway, Toya gets the girls together. She was like, so let's get back to the reason that we're here for this wine tasting. So she has like a little theme. They do a little wine tasting. So she has a little game. They do a rating system. And one is Costco bought wine, and the other one is her wine. If you think it's wine 1, check 1. If you like wine 2, check 2. Whatever the case may be. So Toya goes on to have a fun little game to see who is going to be the box wine bitch. Whoever can guess her wine, I think, versus a Costco wine, if I'm not mistaken. So here comes the sommelier and let the games begin. But Chad, how about in a confessional? Simone's old drunk ass, and I'm kidding, she was just like, I don't know what a Cabernet, a Sauvignon, a Grand Marnier. Oh my God, I'm cracking the hell up. She said, I know what vodka, Jack Daniels. She said, I know what that shit is. We know you do with your drunk ass. But anyway, it's a fun little game. Toya says they can stick to vagina and teeth and let me stick to the wine, honey. Bloop, okay. Moving right along. Oh my God. And of course, guess who won the box wine bitch? So whoever voted number 2, I think those were Toya's wines or whatever. Child, they had a couple rounds of the games or what have you. But anywho, that damn Dr. Simone, she won the box wine bitch. So she didn't choose the more expensive Pinot Noir. No, she didn't. She was like, she wants to thank her parents, God, and everybody. Okay? Because she is the lush of the year. I'm just joking. So anyway, they wrap up, child. Everybody had a good time. They're asking, how can I support you? And child, I'm like, I think I want to get some of Toya's wines too. But hopefully they're not an arm and a leg. So anywho, Sweet Tea says she's tired. She's ready to go. And then Dr. Heavenly's in the background. She's like, she got to get home. She got a whole man. She said, girl, I got a whole wedding to plan. Child, oh my God. Why she got the damn tag sticking off of her dress? I'm like, no, baby, no. Child, you just giving them fodder to roast and gag your ass, honey. Ooh, child. Ooh, you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. Oh my God, and production is so shady. They're like, oh, no, 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 no. Child with the ad-libbing. And then Dr. Heavenly's like, she's going to take that bitch back. And then Faye is like, oh, it's okay, babe. It's all right. It's okay. And then Dr. Jackie's like, well, honey, she ain't a doctor's wife yet. She's still a fiance. She's still trying to get access to the money, to the coin. She got to take it back in the meantime, child. She got to do what she got to do. She ain't got access to Big Daddy's money yet. She ain't the wife yet. Well, child, here we go. So, anywho, it was nice to see Dr. Heavenly give Toya a hug. She said she was proud of her. In a confessional, Toya's like, well, that's a lot coming from Heavenly, seeing as though she's a hater and everything, child. But yeah, Toya's a boss for real. She's a stay-at-home mom. But I can see her really doing her thing with whatever endeavor she decides to pursue. And hopefully this wine thing will take off. And Martell Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville with that Inez wine that your ass don't half-ass advertise, child. White labeling and some more shit. You can take some notes, honey. But don't help him, child. Toya, don't help him. Don't bless him with it. Don't give his ass no information. Don't bless him with it. Baby, when I tell you that damn Phaedra looking like $1,000,000, honey, I'm loving that damn coat. I don't know if that's a mink, chinchilla, what it is, but child is giving and is serving a look. So anyway, Phaedra's meeting up with Dr. G, so they have to kind of catch up on a couple things. So anyway, they greet each other, and I'm checking out the Chanel purse, baby. I see you, Phaedra, child. Yes, ma'am. So anyway, she was like, well, look at you. She said, look at you. You done turned gray and you ain't got no just for men. I guess he's embracing his grays, child. But yeah, I agree with Phaedra. He does look like a silver fox. He's wearing his gray. He looks good. So anyway, she was like, are you still playing baseball? He was like, no, he's playing golf now. Phaedra's like, oh, okay, that's a rich man's sport, child. And then he goes on. Now they transition to talk about Sweet Tea. He said, I think I'm with the right partner because she's athletic. Way he was like, she ran. How you gonna tell that man she got a flat butt? He was like, well, you got to get, he said, she got a lot of booty. You just got to get up under there. I'm like, oh, Lord. So anyway, child, they just get right onto it. She was like, so you ready to get married again? You're not afraid? He said, well, what is there to be afraid of, you know? So essentially, Phaedra feels like it's her duty to ensure that Dr. G is confident in his decision to marry Sweet Tea because of the comment she made about wanting access to the money. So here we go with the prenup. Here we go. Oh my God, but Phaedra ain't it. She's like, if you want to get married, you have to be equally yoked. This is what she's saying. You have to have a similar mindset. And she goes on to say she is much younger. And so here we go. Dr. G is like, so what's that? What you trying to say? And so Dr. G comes clean. He said, well, let's talk about that. He said, because I did have a problem with that. And then Phaedra says, what, you feel like a predator? He said, no, I felt preyed upon because she slipped into his DMs and he's probably used to approaching the women that he wants to talk to. Okay. But Again, I'm all for hypergamy. Get it how you live. But if you're going to be a gold digger, child, don't let every damn body on TV know. Shh, keep some shit to yourself. Tell your girlfriends and them. Hell, don't even tell their asses. Keep it to yourself. But Dr. G then goes on to say, again, he didn't know if he was the predator or the prey, which tells me I don't think he's ever dated anybody that much younger, because I want to say maybe him and Quad is what, maybe I want to say Quad is about 43, so she may have been, call it 13 years younger, give or take. Whereas Sweet Tea is 23 years younger, okay? It's levels to this shit. But he does say after he met her, she made him feel comfortable. So who knows? Maybe they could be soulmates. We don't know. Time will tell. But it's interesting, he then goes on to say she grabbed his arm and immediately he felt safe with her. And it's a safety that he never had with Quad. And so Phaedra's like, you never felt safe with Quad? And he admitted, he said no. And see, my thing is, he wanted someone to hero worship his ass, cater to him hand and foot. And Quad is just not that girl because she's fabulous all on her own, okay? And I'm not saying that he thinks that he's the prize. He didn't give off that, but he does give off old-fashioned that he wants a woman to cater to him. Some people may say that Quad's self-centered. I just think that Quad wanted an equal partnership. They just weren't for each other, him and Quad. Not at all. But anyway, he goes on to say in a marriage, it's important for your partner to be your friend. So I'm taking it that he and Quad, well, I remember they used to battle, okay? And for those of you who have followed Married to Medicine for years, remember, some people say he's abusive because remember they had to call the police on one another, right? I think even before they got married, they were battling it out, okay? He accused her of having a butter knife or pulling a knife on him. He had to pin her down to the floor. I'm like, what the hell were y'all arguing about to where y'all had to get physical and you putting your hands on her like that? And what did you do to her for her to want to pull a knife out on you? I don't know. Either way, violence isn't good on either end. So they were toxic for one another. I just think that he wants someone who's really submissive. And I don't know if Sweet Tea is as submissive as she appears to be. I do feel like she has down home country or certain values, but I think she wants more of an equal partner than Gregory will be able to live up to, but time will tell. But Phaedra goes on, again, back to the prenup, and he just kind of looks, he says that they talked about it. I want to say when I looked at, was it Carlos King? Or, no, or was it Watch What Happens Live? Or one of them damn shows. I don't know if they signed a prenup. I think it's going to come out because I think it was Andy. He said he's going to get to the bottom of it. But anyway, Phaedra's like, she don't trust nobody, so he needs to protect his interests. She doesn't seem like a bad person, but things can get ugly in a divorce. And as Phaedra said, has stipulations. If you're married 10 years, you'll get this. Some people may do 5 years. Because if you look at, what's the chick, Ashley, and that man, that old man that she married, okay, that she's now divorcing. I don't think they divorced yet. I think she was able to obtain certain things if she had a certain amount of kids and what have you. Like he probably bought Ashley that house. So anyway, so y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all drop down in the comments. This is Sensibility Speaks. Thanks for stopping by. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, honey, because next week is going to be juicy. Yes, it is. All right, y'all. Goodbye.